from the Friedkin Group. We know that they own Roma as well in Italy. Are there any clues as to what they will do when they finally get the deal all ticked off?
Yeah, that's a difficult one to answer at the moment. I asked a question to the relevant people about specifics of their plan, but it's not a conversation they were getting drawn into because they've not got the keys to this place yet. Now, we saw what they did at Roma, got in Jose Mourinho. Will they do the same here by replacing Sean Dyche early on? Will they look at the exec team, bring in someone high profile there to oversee everything? Or will they go for the popularity move and go for a marquee signing that'll get the fans on side? But one thing's for sure, Dan Friedkin's got a pile of in trade that's from the ground to the sky. He's going to need one of his fighter jets to reach the top of it.
Absolutely, yeah, fighter jet. Stunt pilot in his spare time. It's nice. Alan Shaboon, thank you so much for joining us here at Goodison.
Sarah, thank you very much. That's actually a good question about new owners when they come in. A lot of changes, Martin. Do you think that could affect Sean Dyche, or are you looking at what he managed to do with that team last season?
Yeah, firstly, I think the Evertonian fans, the supporters, they're good, honest people. I think now they're looking for some of this, hopeful stability when it's a takeover that actually happens will filter through to the team, because the team looks like it's struggling. And today, maybe it's a bit more unified for a home game at Goodison to go to the new stadium next year, so a lot of change ahead. It's obviously an attractive proposition to buy it, and let's hope now that Sean Dyche can get the results on the pitch. And against Palace today, who haven't won either this season, represents for me a really good opportunity. Forget the noise, use it as a positive, and start winning games of football.
Why do you think they're struggling, Farah, on the pitch?
I don't know, it's an interesting one. It probably is all of that. I mean, you look at the points they were deducted last year, that kind of uncertainty. I think, the buy will probably bring that stability that Martin talks about there in terms of for the fan and the club as a whole. But they haven't been that bad, Alex. I mean, the opening two, they were dreadful, conceding 7 goals in the opening 2 games. Then they go 2-0 up and lose at home to Bournemouth in the last 8 minutes of the game. Then they go 2-0 up against Villa. But I actually think their performances haven't been that bad. The thing that I worry about is a Sean Dyche team, if you look back to last season, they were fighting relegation, were the 4th best defensive team in the league. They've come into the season already and conceding a meaningless amount of goals. It's not a typical Sean Dyche team that concedes goals and leaks goals the way that they do. So I think players a little bit have to take responsibility in terms of that game management. You're 2-0 up. You've got to play what's in front of you.
Yeah, I sincerely hope that they're able to do it. But I think eventually there's a weight on you. Points deducted, who owns the football club, what's going to happen, and I think it's really affected people.
Okay, well, Martin's former teammate, Paul Merson, is going to be dancing the salsa tonight on Strictly, so we've made him the subject of this week's focus.